Hi and welcome to Dearest Garden. My name is Quilenthia, and if you are new here, we are just plant lovers sharing our gardening journey. And today I want to give you guys a quick greenhouse seedling tour. I want to show you everything that is currently growing in the greenhouse. And it is kind of packed in here, so I am first going to get some things moved out so I can have some space to show you guys what we have growing. All right, I'm in the greenhouse now, and as I show you the seedlings, I am going to be taking inventory at the same time because I'm trying my absolute best to be more organized this year. I wasn't as organized last year, and I'm just trying to do better. So I need to make sure that the amount of plants I have growing in here is going to fit the space, our kitchen garden area, and our raised beds. So I feel like this will allow me to just design my layout just a bit better. And if I do need to get more grow bags or more containers, I will know how many I need. So let's get started. All right, so we are starting right here in this corner, and we have the egg blanco eggplants growing, and I believe this one is that purple and white eggplant. My first time growing eggplants, and so far so good. And we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of these growing. I'm going to make sure that I write that down, that I have 10 of those growing. Let's move on to the next tray, and looks like we have cabbage growing. They look good as well. This is my, I think, third time growing cabbage. First time was a complete fail. My last time, the frost got to them, so I only ended up having one. So hopefully with the warmer weather, we will have better luck this spring. And looks like we have more cabbage growing over here. This one is the red acre cabbage. It actually looks like I have some mustard growing within these cabbages. Just realized that. Yeah, several mustard. The mustard look just like cabbage. Hopefully I did not mix these up because they are looking just like the cabbage plants. Hilarious. Now we are moving on to the stars of the garden, the stars of my garden anyway, which are the tomatoes. And these right here, looks like I have 7 of them, and they are the Birdie June micro dwarf tomato. I love the micro dwarf tomatoes because I am able to put them just about anywhere. I can grow them in a pot that's less than a gallon, probably like 3/4. I pretty much treat them as an ornamental plant, so I'm excited to be seeing those doing well. In front of those, we have some peppers growing, and these look like they are the ancho poblano pepper. Also looking really good. I think this one is our first time growing the ancho poblano. These are huge. Let me turn them so you can see them a bit better. They look lovely. So good. I have yet to water, so the soil looks kind of dry. I'm gonna water when I'm done with this video. I had a nutrient deficiency, but I started doing the fish fertilizer twice a week for the past few weeks, and they bounced back. They look so good, and I have 2 trays, another one behind it that looks just like this, and it looks like some of them are golden nugget. This one's different though. This one is ink spot, and I believe this one is also a dwarf tomato. Love the dwarf tomatoes, and I'm trying to grow more dwarf tomatoes just because I want to make sure that I have enough space. And it looks like I have some like volunteer seedlings coming out of this. I don't know what this is. I'm just gonna pull those out. By my count, so far on this side, I count 36 tomatoes. Which makes me glad that we added those 4 new raised beds and those other 3 that's on the other side of the fence. hopefully we end up having enough space for everything. And this next set is the hyacinth bean vine. This is a flowering vine that reaches 30 feet in one season. And up to zone 8, it's an annual, but after that, 9 and 10, it's actually a perennial, which is pretty cool. I'm actually trying to have it be a perennial in my zone, or in my garden at least, by saving the previous year's seeds. So all of these are from the seeds that I saved, and I wanted to save them because they are very expensive. Hyacinth bean vine seeds are very expensive, so if you do grow them, I definitely suggest saving the seeds. They're really easy to save. I mentioned that in my how to save, or why everyone should be saving seeds from their garden video. If you missed that, I'll make sure that I link it somewhere up here. But let's move on to the bottom section. Over here we have some rosal hibiscus seedlings. It looks like we have a mix of things again. I see some dwarf peppermint, tomatoes. Actually, this is dwarf Laura. This one is the dwarf peppermint. Looks kind of sad. we just transplanted these, so soon they will be looking like the tomatoes on top. This one is a San Marzano. Pollinator seeds growing, so I see some milkweed, and then more of those dwarf peppermints, more milkweed and dwarf peppermint. So all of these I got transplanted at the same time, and that's why they're all in that same tray. We have some onion seeds that we still need to transplant out over here that look kind of sad. I have some purple top verbena. This is my absolute favorite verbena to grow, and they grow really slow. They are starting to come up now, really tiny. Looks like Shasta daisies coming up. This one too is a daisy coming up. They are germinating pretty slowly. And I think you guys are aware of our figs experiment that we are doing. So here is a little update on how those look now. Much bigger than the last time we showed you. They are looking amazing. Just seeing these figs put on growth and roots and leaves makes me thrilled to get them potted up. I cannot wait. So if you want to see that video, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Yeah, these are Morning Glory. Rodney was in Dollar Tree and he saw these Morning Glory seeds and he wanted to get them. So here they are, and these are another flowering vine. I'm very curious to see how these end up looking in the garden because it is our first time growing them. They grow pretty fast too. Soon these will need to be transplanted out. Let's see, we have cucumber, and this looks like the Wisconsin variety. And we have another Wisconsin. So those are how those are looking. And this is my first time successfully growing cucumbers. I don't think I've ever gotten them to that point. And I think this one is the Market More variety. That is how those are looking. They look kind of sad. I might need to set them up, move them a little closer to the sun. It's kind of shaded under here. Let's do that. Maybe they'll start to look a little better. And on this one, this is another mixed tray of things. It looks like we have more cucumbers. It looks like these are peppers right here in the front. Another cucumber, and I do have some collards growing. Collards are a perennial in my zone, zone 8. So I'm gonna plant these in a spot where they can remain. Not sure yet though, not sure yet where. And the rest of those look like collards in the back too. Now I've made my way over to the next side and I'm seeing more tomatoes, and we started these tomatoes about 5 weeks after the bigger ones. So the bigger ones were started like the end of January, and these were started, the label says March 4th. And we just transplanted these last week into these bigger containers. And they are also looking pretty good. but we wanted more because we were trying to extend our season and get some tomatoes in the winter. So we will probably end up starting more, and it'll probably end up starting more in the summer just to get us through those cold months, and we'll probably end up growing them in the greenhouse. Not sure how that is going to turn out, but we will see. And here are some more of those tomatoes, and these actually need to be transplanted out. These are another dwarf variety called Pinocchio Red, and they are the micro dwarf varieties that you can grow in those 3/4 gallon containers. This, I believe this is the rainbow Swiss chard, if I'm not mistaken. Some purple basil growing. This is really pretty. I love the purple leaves. Purple is my favorite color. Gorgeous. And we have some more. These are eggplant, and I believe this one is the Black Beauty eggplant. And to the left of that tray, we have some more tomatoes growing, and these are the San Marzano tomatoes. And more peppers. We have some habanero growing, and I believe these habanero seeds were from Dollar Tree. So if you're wondering how the Dollar Tree seeds do, they do really well, and they're just 25 cents a pack. And this one is a mystery to me. I'm not sure if it is a cucumber or if it is a zucchini, because I did sow a zucchini and I cannot find it. I don't know where it is. I somehow got mixed up on my labels. Hilarious. So if you guys know, if you're like expert seedling identifiers and you know what this one is, brighten that a little bit. And if you know what this one is, let me know. I'll probably just have to plant it somewhere where it has enough space and then just wait and see. The rest of these are more peppers. This one is the grand bell. The bell peppers are harder to grow, in my opinion, compared to the smaller peppers. So I struggle with those. So I'm excited to see that one. And it looks like I only have one. The other seedlings did not make it. I have some petunias growing right here. Soon they will need to be transplanted. And I started several petunias just because I like having them around my garden. Because like I mentioned in the other video, they act the same as marigolds. They are like a pestilent flower. And like I said, really not much to see on the seedlings. This is oregano growing right here in this tray. Little celery seedlings right here. More tomatoes. Looks like ahi pineapple and chocolate habanero. And just more flats of petunias that are coming up. Larkspur in this tray right here. I only see like 3 seedlings though. And more tomatoes and more petunias. And right below that, we just have more seedlings growing. Yeah, just a mix of petunias, coleus, peppers, and some marigolds growing under here. And to the right of those, we have some more tomatoes potted up. These are beefsteak tomatoes, so we have them in these huge trays, super big because they're going to get huge. And in front of those tomatoes, I have on the tag cucumber zucchini ? So those who know how to identify seedlings, let me know in the comments what you think what this is, because my labeling got mixed up somehow. Not sure how. Again, more peppers, and you can definitely tell what our favorite plants are to grow in the garden: peppers and tomatoes, because that is the majority of what is in the greenhouse right now. And we have some sweet potatoes over here. I am not sure I am doing this correctly. They probably should be in the house. I wanted to experiment to see if I am able to create slips in the greenhouse with this method. And they've been out here for a few weeks and nothing, so I probably will move these in the house. Not sure yet. I like to experiment, so we'll see how that goes. And I have some parsley growing right here in this tray. And tucked in this corner in these like paper pots, I have some peas that definitely need to be transplanted. And I think I'm going to transplant those today. And I have some loofah that I started, some loofah seeds that I started, and some birds gourd in that same tray as that. And they are just now starting to come up. You can see the seeds still on them, which is pretty cool. And behind that, I have more in that little corner over there, right there. I have more peas growing. So those peas are going to be transplanted out today. And lastly, we have more marigolds growing. That's milkweed right there. And in this last tray, we have some different varieties of broccoli here. Above that, we have some mustard growing. And then this is an herb right there in the corner. Thank you so much for following along with me as I checked on my seedlings and got a better count of what is actually growing in this space. And by my count, we have lots of tomatoes, lots of peppers. I'm not sure where these are going to be going yet, but since I have a list of how many I have, I can now design and lay out the garden a bit better and possibly buy some more containers if I need to. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to share it with your other gardening friends. We would greatly appreciate the share. And if you missed our last video, you can catch it right here. We'll see you there.